Hey, all, welcome back to SLB Drinks. We have another very unique show. This is somewhat my idea because we have a bottle sitting on the bar top. I don't know where. Carlos.
Our good friend Carlos.
Our good buddy Carlos. I was afraid to open a package, I have to admit, because you never know what Carlos is going to come up with.
Yeah.
But Trenton, he's like, no, it's going to be good. It's good.
Well, he posted a picture, and it was him at the store, and it showed this bottle, and I had never seen it. And I didn't read anything about the release. I didn't know this was a thing. And I figured, why not? It kind of seemed like it was up your alley, so I kind of went up and pulled it.
And maybe it is.
Yeah.
We, neither Trenton nor I, have tasted this at all.
No.
Okay?
No, we have not.
My buddy Carlos is going to be a little bit miffed.
Not the Carlos that sent this.
No, not Carlos. There's a different Carlos. He has an Instagram page, Mr. Escobar. Mr. Escobar. Sharp-dressed man. If I ever lose 20, 30 pounds, I'm going to go see Carlos to give me to kind of dress me proper. He's kind of got a page with cigars, nice dressed man type thing, and
You're
how you
sharp
and I are.
right now.
Yeah, okay.
We got the. These are the sweatpants. They actually have holes in them.
Let me just tell you, Carlos.
I melted them with a lighter on accident.
Carlos Escobar, Mr. Escobar, he puts us to shame, bro.
I bet
Puts
he does.
us to shame.
I feel like that's not hard though.
No, it isn't. He messaged me about this bottle. Have you seen it or anything about it? I am dying to get it. So, Carlos, I'm sorry, bud. My other friend Carlos hooked me up. If I can get you another one, I absolutely will. But this is a highly anticipated release from High West, Trenton.
I did not know that.
They're kind of up on this bottle. We haven't really reviewed anything from High West in quite a long time. We've kind of...
The Midwinter we did a review on, I think.
Yeah,
I can't remember if it was a single review or we did it with a couple.
That's correct. You're right about that. I did forget about that. But High West kind of fallen out of, I'm going to say, favor with us, and I don't really mean it that way. It's just the word I can think of right now. It's just kind of not really had anything come to light that we really wanted to put out here and share with you folks.
Yeah.
But this one here is their, this is the Noble Share. This is a blend of straight whiskeys finished in Marquez de Casa Noble and Anejo barrels. Tequila. All right, now we're getting into the subject matter. When Trenton brought this down, I told him this is a subject I've kind of wanted to tackle for a while now, but we haven't because myself, between Kent and I, we kind of like tequila.
I'm glad somebody
I've got
does.
a fair tequila collection going, not extravagant by any means, but a pretty nice collection of tequilas. And Ken also likes tequila as well. Trenton, on the other hand, not so much. Is that accurate?
I just smelled the deodorant last night at Meijer that was blue agave, and it smelled really nice. I almost bought it, but it was like $9 for a stick of deodorant, and I'm just not doing that. That's about as close. That's about as close as I've come to liking blue agave spirits. Granted, 2025 is a different year. I might get into it.
And I get it. Everything's not for everybody. We've talked about that.
And to be fair, the selection of high quality tequilas here in Northwest Indiana is abysmal. It's probably worse than the Scotch selection, which is saying a lot.
And that's very possible.
Yeah. So
100%.
I'm excited about this one. This is not a cheap release. The sticker was still on it. I actually took it off of here.
Oh, you did? Okay.
$169.99. This comes from Carlos. I believe he's in Connecticut. So this is the price in Connecticut.
It's about $170, which for a special release, I mean, I guess whatever. Well, I guess we'll get to that. I have no idea. This could be something I just absolutely love. I don't know. The main reason, we have another whiskey over here we're going to bring out here in just a little bit, is what you folks feel about when it comes to tequila finished whiskeys. This one in particular, Trent, is a 4 to 9 year rye whiskey that's finished in the Marquez Casa Noble barrels that we just spoke about. That particular Casa Noble is anejo, and a blend of anejo barrels and some extra anejo barrels. So that tequila is rested in barrels for a while. But they also had a portion of this that was finished in amburana casks. I don't know how that settles with you either. But I still wanted to bring it out here. I just want to be honest with everybody. What's the whiskey in here? Rye whiskey, tequila, amburana, to make it simple. A small portion, amburana. Okay? So without getting too crazy on you, that's what we have sitting in front of us.
I wonder if our good friend Chip Chalupa has tried this.
He's one of our patrons, and he is I almost said master, and I don't want to say that, but he is well educated in the agave spirits. I had an amazing tasting with him when Rebecca and I were vacationing in Arizona not that long ago.
I'll say it smells nice, but the reason it smells nice is because that amburana is like front and center on this.
It is, but I can get some of the agave on here too, Trenton, and I can also get some of the qualities of the rye whiskey here too. I think the aromas are very well balanced.
I agree.
We'll get to all this conversation. We'll get to it. Is it for you? Is it not for you? But I will say it's very well balanced. I'm with you. I get that little bit of cinnamon from the amburana. I get the agave from the tequila finish, but I'm really getting, I think the core of that rye whiskey is shining as well.
I definitely get the rye whiskey.
Definitely.
More so the amburana, but I also I'm going to maybe like mark it in my brain that what I'm smelling but not having what I'm having a hard time putting my finger on is that agave. No,
yeah,
I don't know what that's like really.
All right.
So I'm just gonna say that that's probably it.
That's why I'm kind of psyched up about this video, because you and I are kind of on separate planes when it comes to tequilas.
Very, yeah.
Okay.
Because you like
okay.
You like to have a sip of like a good
absolutely.
tequila. I do not.
Yeah, mezcal tastings too.
No.
I mean, just all kinds.
No.
Wonderful.
Can't do it.
I love the nose.
Oh, dude. Okay. Also, I'll say, I like the label on this. The artwork's fantastic. I think High West has gone through 3 or 4 different rebrandings with their style of label. They had a bit of an identity crisis there for a while. There's a ton of different ones out there, but I like this a lot. I hope they stick. I hope they stick with this style of like stippled label design. That's nice.
I will say this.
Do an extra comment.
I've got some comments, but I love the first sip. I will say that. I love the first sip.
Is it kind of piney? Like cinnamon pine?
Wow. That is really, really good. I don't say that much about... I'm struggling here, Trent. I'm just looking for the proof.
I think it's on the front. Right there. This is 104 proof. This is batch 24K.
Okay.
15.
I will say it sips at that 104 or maybe a little more. It's a little bit proofy.
It drinks a little higher than
a little bit higher than it. Yeah, I think so too. But there's so much going on in that sip, and again, this is unusual for me. But I'm going to get some major kudos out to High West for the adventurism that they have with this release, and I think it's magnificently balanced. Very well balanced. I'm still getting the qualities of that rye whiskey. I think the rye whiskey tastes really good in here. I like the flavor of the rye whiskeys. But then that agave comes through, and then it's supported a little bit by that hint of cinnamon with the amburana.
There's a really nice citrus note in here.
Mm-hmm.
This would be fantastic in like a Boulevardier, even though it's very expensive. This would be like a very elevated Boulevardier, because I think the citrus from that cocktail would play nicely with the citrus in here. The bitterness would kind of probably take away a little bit from that cinnamon note, but I think it'd be good still. I'm a fan.
This is the first taste. This is one, I will say this too, this is one that I can sit with for a period of time and try to discover new things. Right up front of the palate, you get the qualities of the rye whiskey. Right up front. Right after that, you get the warming effects of that agave coming in. It just kind of puts up, and I'm struggling a little bit with words because I haven't spent any time with this, but it's very warming. It's very inviting. Then you get that, I believe it's more of a lemon essence that's in there with the citrus in there. It's like a nice zesty lemon. At the very end, you get that hint of cinnamon still with that amburana.
Bro. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say this is probably the best release that High West has done in a long time.
100%.
I have the Prisoner's Share that they did, that release. I think I got the 2 batches they released.
That's a good one.
And I thought it was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't enamored with it. As somebody who is not a big blue agave or an agave spirits fan in general, I like tequila cocktails. I like mezcal cocktails. I'm just not going to drink it.
You do?
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Like smoky bean and like I love a good margarita.
That's right. I love
and,
that one.
yeah.
Well, that's true. Okay. Okay.
But it's just not something I'm going to sip neat. So I think that for me, this is a nice blend of kind of all those aspects to it. And yes.
Well, and you being a rye whiskey fan too.
Right.
I imagine that helps too, because I will say this. I don't know how this would have turned out if you did all this with a bourbon.
I'm glad they didn't.
I think it would have been a train wreck. I think it would have fell flat. The rye whiskey has a backbone that can meld well with everything that's going on here.
And I will say it again. I think rye finishes far supersede bourbon finishes. Just because it has a little bit more of a backbone. It can kind of tame down a finish that is like overly done to the point where it really mellows it out and helps it.
Yeah.
This is a fantastic release. I'm going to have to find one for myself. I like it that much.
I mean, I know we always talk about, is it worth the money? Is it worth the money? $170 is still expensive.
It is.
But I'm glad Carlos picked it up for us. Thank you, buddy, because that's... And my other buddy, Carlos, Mr. Escobar, I'm going to try to find you one, my man, because he's a special guy. Do you remember when we did our first tequila show like years ago? Just kind of did a tequila show.
We've done a tequila show.
This has been a long time ago. We struggled through it. We did it. You were like, I think it's an upcoming thing. We need to try to do one. We just did one. But Carlos Escobar, Mr. Escobar, was the one that knowledged me through that show. Oh. And that's where I really started getting my love for tequila, was because of him. So if anybody out there sees this release that can help me out for Mr. Escobar, I'd really appreciate it, because he would love this. I guarantee it. So let's bring on this other one here. I do have a rye whiskey from Sagamore that's about half the price, roughly between $80 and $90. I've had it a little while, so probably a year or two ago when we bought it, it probably was about that $80 mark. And this one is finished in tequila barrels. It doesn't have quite the status as this one. It's not the fancy stuff, but straight rye whiskey finished in tequila barrels, basic and simple. So to me,
98 proof.
We have a little bit poured here, and this is going to kind of confirm to me whether Trenton or not, whether he's really big on this tequila stuff. I really want to know from you in the comments too, what is your thoughts on whiskey in general, reaching out that far? We're not talking about wine. We're not talking about port. We're not talking about finished in, these got honey. We're talking about tequila. What's your thoughts? I'm really curious to hear it.
I feel like it's on the same plane as like a rum finish.
Okay.
I'd be curious on like a rye whiskey finish in like a gin barrel. None of this orange curacao baloney, but like a gin barrel, like a New Holland Knickerbocker gin barrel, a Bar Hill Tomcat gin.
That's
barrel.
different.
Yes,
that has a little honey infused with it too, so that's different.
I would love that.
Now
I'd love to try it. I'm not going to say I love it off the bat. I keep playing with this sticker here. Put that down.
All right, let's check it out.
This is the only Sagamore that I have not had.
It's been a while since I've dipped into it. As you can see, I have.
Yeah.
Ket and I have together. We shared some, but it's been a while.
And I don't know if there's different batches of this Sagamore tequila finish. This is batch 2C, bottle 2639 by MC.
Okay. I think the nose is lovely. Again, I'm going to echo, it's not quite as deep. It doesn't have the depth of this bottle over here, but I think it's balanced.
This has a little bit of a honey note to it.
Bro, this here is, I am dying to have a little time to get into that a little bit more. Sit down with it for a half hour. Try to figure it out.
This has more of an upfront, what I would imagine to be in a blue agave or an agave type of an influence to it.
But balanced on that.
Balanced.
It
sure.
is balanced.
Yes, for sure.
We'll say that. But this one here, you got the rye whiskey with that great agave warming notes.
Ooh, stomach's a little bit angry.
This one's a little bit more simplified.
It's good, though.
But it's good. It's good.
Colin's fiance, I think he likes it too, but Rachel loves this one.
This particular release from Sagamore?
The tequila.
She's a tequila fan, though.
She is a tequila
fan. And I know
fan.
that. She's tasted some of the tequilas we have down here.
And that was one of her favorite ones. And I think this is one that got her off of it because she was not a big whiskey fan at all. She was at our neighbor's house, her grandma, and they would all come over and we would mix random cocktails and stuff. She was not into whiskey at all at that time. And this is kind of what converted her a little bit because she is a tequila fan, and now she's a whiskey fan. Wow. After going to this one, this was like her conversion bottle or whatever you want to call it.
Wow.
I like this too.
I do like it. And par for the course for Sagamore. Spectacular rye whiskey distillery. All their finishes, to me, and I'll say it again, as I've said it a million times before, to me, a good finish rides that perfect line to where it doesn't take over the goodness of the whiskey.
Yeah.
It just enhances and amplifies the goodness of the whiskey. And same here. Sagamore does that all the time, though. They're masters at it. But I love it. I do.
This is, and to be fair, I did not watch this, but this is like the Tyson Paul fight, right? Like they're both really good, but one of them just whatever. I don't understand fighting or UFC or anything like that, but this one is really good. I don't know why I made that analogy. This one's really good, 2 times the price, but I sincerely feel that there is a significant difference in the complexity.
Yes.
Of not only the rye whiskey,
yes,
but also the finish and I think that amburana honestly helps a ton in that. I think it would have been flat without it.
I think that was a masterful move by the people at High West to throw in just a little bit of that amburana to lengthen the sip, put a little depth in it. Again, this is kind of, for SLB, this is a little bit unknown territory here to be touting this loudly about High West. I truly wanted to bring this on to ask you folks and to find out how Trenton relates to a tequila barrel finish.
Pretty well.
The first sip of this, I was like, holy cow, that's really good. Now, if you don't like tequila at all, if you're that person, don't even go down this road.
No, save your money and just put it
Don't
somewhere
go down this road. But if you are and you're open to new things, might be something that you might be interested in.
And I will say I don't know if this is considered allocated. I would imagine not, because not many people are looking for a tequila finish. But this is a fantastic bottle. I will be looking for one for myself.
Man, I am thrilled that I have that down here, and I will be spending time with that for sure. An enjoyable sip here, a wonderful finish. This one here is an amazing sip. That would take some time to actually truly try to figure it out.
Make Midwinter Night's Dram as good as this.
Please.
Bump down the price a little bit. But also, I mean, great job, High West.
Yeah.
I was
kind
of concerned after the Midwinter Night's Dram last year. I'm glad to see that they're pumping out some stuff like this. It's good.
I apologize for my gushing, but I wasn't expecting that.
I honestly was not either.
I really wasn't. I still, though, truly would like to get your responses in the comments to see what you all feel about tequila barrels being introduced a little bit into the whiskey finishing process.
Sorry, I think Jack Daniels is coming out with one.
See,
there's a couple.
I'm hearing about it here and there. I did not personally hear that one.
It's one of those 375 distillery only ones.
Okay,
but there are a couple distilleries coming out with tequila finishes.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna wait to say what I think.
Okay.
Before I can confirm. I don't want to put any BS out there.
Well, with that being said, I guess that's all we have for you today. As always, we ask you to please drink responsibly. See you next time right down here with Trent and me in the good old basement bourbon bar. See you later.